Welcome to the post-match press conference with Coach Brian Schmetzer of Seattle Sounders. So let's start.
Recording in progress.
The press conference. So please, can you give me the microphone to this side? Thank you.
Good night, Coach. Diego Armando Medina de TUDN. ¿Cuál es la sensación de que a pesar de la derrota, la eliminación, pues el público termina aplaudiendo y ovacionando al equipo, reconociendo lo que han hecho en los últimos torneos?
Coach, what's your impression about besides the result and the loss of Seattle? At the end, all the fans stopped. They cheered and they supported the team until the end. What's your impression about it?
Our fans are very loyal fans. They're very good fans. The Monterrey fans were here tonight in the stadium as well, so I thought the atmosphere was good. The players didn't quit, and so I think the fans appreciated that. Again, we were behind in the game, and obviously we weren't going to get the 3 goals that we needed to go through. But the players kept trying to score, and I think the fans understand that.
Okay. Please.
Yeah, Brian, just the emotion of this game, just in terms of, you're able to start off like you had hoped, and then obviously go back, and as you just mentioned, to start the second half, kind of disaster strikes there.
Yeah. Well, we all felt pretty good for the first 20 minutes. I think everybody in the stadium could see that the team was, ready to go, ready to play. Nico's goal was very, very good. Jordan Morris's goal, very, very good. And then the game kind of settled in. And, I have to give Monterrey a lot of credit. That's a very good team. But it's kind of like our season, Maz. I mean, we started off the season really well and just, hit a blank spot. Scoring goals is a challenge. I mean, Raul hit the post, he missed another one. I mean, we created a bunch of chances, but we just can't seem to, finish the job.
Please, in the first row.
Thank you. Thanks, Brian, for your time. I wanted to ask about your halftime. Like, what do you say after a half like that, especially when you give up a penalty on a silly little play? And then my second part is, why wasn't Nico the captain tonight?
Sure. Let me address that one first, Jada. Nico and I have had a history together. I mean, he came at the same time I did as a head coach. He's been such a great player for us and, won us some championships. He and I were having conversations about what we could do to change the team, to kind of just change what was going on. And we came to a conclusion that it might be better for Steph Fry to be the captain. It's a subtle change, but, it was good. And we talked it through with Steph, and we made the decision. And then unfortunately, he comes out with his finger. And so it would have been a little awkward for, after we made the decision to change, to get it back. So JP's a worthy captain, so I thought that was okay. Then, as far as what I said at halftime, Jada, it was a gut punch. We talked about just going out and just scoring the next goal to see what happens. And unfortunately, it didn't, they scored the next goal.
Please, in the first row.
I wanted to get your thoughts on the penalty call in principle, if you, in your opinion, thought it was a penalty or not, and also wanted to get your thoughts on Cleveland's performance tonight as well.
I'll go with that one first. Stephen Cleveland was, not at fault. It's a team sport. Goalkeepers, when they make mistakes, certainly everybody sees them. There were some moments there, but he performed well. And as far as the PK is concerned, it's a penalty. The referee called it. They checked it. We watch it on film. Albert does make a little bit of contact before. I mean, it was, we can't make sloppy passes inside your 18-yard box. That bad things happen.
Okay, here in the second row, please.
Coach, I'm curious now that you're eliminated from the tournament. What do you take away from today's performance moving forward in the next few weeks, and what do you focus on to be ready for the rest of the MLS season?
Well, what we're going to try and focus on is the first 15 to 20 minutes and then learn from that little spell after, the game kind of started cooking and what we could have done to control tempo a little bit better. Obviously, it's a little bit different because if it was a regular season game and you're up 2-0, you want to control tempo, but we still needed one more goal. So I think the team was still pressing. They felt a lot of confidence because of the way they started. So that's what we'll try and coach them through. If we get up on teams in the regular season 2-0, how do we close games out? And then what I'm proud about was, again, they didn't quit. I'm happy with the young guys, the subs that came in. I thought Reed played very well. He made a couple of bad passes, but the kid was nervous. But his understanding of that position, maybe his final pass can get better. I thought he was good. We gave Obed and Josh a run in midfield. Those two guys are fighting for minutes. When Yaimar came off, we even moved Josh back, which maybe that's a longer-term position for Josh. Cody Baker, you see the energy that he brings, the toughness, the tenacity. So I was pleased with the subs that came on. And I won't forget the experienced guy, Abear, when he came on the field as well. He tried to make something happen as well.
Okay, I have space for a couple of questions more, so any one of you, if you want. Good. Coolness. 1 second, and over the microphone. Yes.
Coach, just wanted to get your take on Nico's overall performance today. I mean, not just the goal, but just overall play, and as well your duo today at holding midfield with Albert working alongside with Joao Paulo.
I thought JP and Albert were good. Again, they hadn't played together in a while, so it might take them a while to kind of understand the roles and how we want to play. But I thought they were good. They're experienced guys. They'll figure it out. I thought Nico was very good. I mean, I thought his energy was good. Obviously, you saw his quality. His leadership on the field sometimes now becomes just by example. And I thought you saw him playing free tonight.
Okay, please.
Coach, I'd like to ask about Leo Chu. He was subbed with 10 minutes in the second half, and in the previous game in the halftime. He didn't seem very happy about that. And I would like to ask what he's not delivering that you are being asking for him.
Leo's never happy. No player is ever happy to come out of the game. I understand that. It's emotion. Leo has to understand that if he's going to be an attacking player on this team, he has to do all the things that he's very good at. But then he also has defensive responsibilities that he needs to understand. And so sometimes in games, and the game at RSL, I think I just needed to make a change. The game tonight, I think he could have done a little bit more, even in the attacking part of the game. And so we wanted to change things up. The game was getting out of hand, so I moved, Albert Rusnak over there, who's an experienced player who actually played there for us the last 4 or 5 games, but it didn't work.
Okay, with your respect, final 2 questions here, and we're done.
So you were saying before the Leagues Cup that the team will be looking to build a streak to close out the rest of the MLS season. But now with this early exit, what's the next kind of approach you'll be taking to close out the season?
Well, the next approach, again, is, starting the game against Atlanta on the 20th, the same way we started tonight, and making sure that when we do have teams at 2-0, that we're able to close out games and collect points. We need to collect points when we're at home if we want to, have a chance at, building some momentum into the playoffs.
Brian, I was going to ask defensively, and you alluded this in your answer about Leo Chu, but defensively, where was the breakdown? Was it the mid-block and the back line? Is that where, or?
I think you run into problems sometimes, Miles. They were a very good transition team. Every time their goalkeeper got the ball, they were going in transition, and we have to keep up. I mean, we can have attacking players, and that's great, but, you got to chase back as well. And I think they opened up the game a little bit with their speed and how they wanted to play, and we needed to recover get everybody goal side, get organized, and then start our pressure. And in some of those moments, that didn't happen.
Final question, please.
Thanks. Brian, I wanted to ask, what's the big schedule plan now? I mean, do you give the players some time off, or how do you approach these 20 days before you play again?
It's going to be a challenge because they're not going to be pleased, just training. We'll try and find a game here or there against an opponent. We will give them some time off, mental break, physical break, a little bit. We'll work on that schedule here, Jada, when I get back in the coach's office.